Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and I'm back with another life update. I'm almost 22. I'm 21 years old. I'm 20 years old, and I'm 19 years old. I was 18 when I first started in New York City. I work in Florida. I'm back in Logan, Utah. I am in Utah. Moved out here to Denver, Colorado. Oral care design, designing griddle accessories, like integrated tech to help cities, furniture design. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am filming my fifth and final installment of my co-op series. I actually filmed this video before while I was still in New York, but it was my very last day there and it was just very chaotic. I also filmed it in an echoey hallway while people were walking past. So I thought such a good experience deserved a slightly better video, so here I am, refilming. So for a little background information, if you haven't been following along with my journey, I am part of a professional practice program at the University of Cincinnati, which includes 5 internships as part of our program. I'm majoring in industrial design, so every other semester I go to a random place, start working at a random company, and gain experience in my field of study. So by the time you graduate, you have 5 different jobs on your resume and you get to travel and earn money. So I'm super grateful to have had this opportunity, and it's insane to me that it's already been 5 of these. At the end of each internship, I film a little recap video kind of for myself, for future reference, and for anyone who might care. The way this works is I have this handy list that I've somehow kept for 5 internship rounds, and it includes a bunch of different categories, and I just go over these categories pertaining to my current situation. Yeah, let's just jump right into it. So the first category on this list is my age. I'm 21 years old. I'm almost 22, and the current date is December 22nd, 2021. As for my location, the co-op was in New York, so I spent 4 months living and working in New York City. I was living in the Hell's Kitchen neighborhood of Manhattan, and I was working in the Dumbo neighborhood of Brooklyn. So the next category on this list is my co-op company. So for the past 4 months, I was working at Quip, as my sweatshirt shows. If you haven't heard of it, they're known for their toothbrushes. This mature startup, I would say, that focuses on oral care products and services, focusing around their toothbrushes, but they also have like a host of other products, so mouthwash, floss, gum, exciting stuff. The next category is area of design. It's oral care design, but broader. It's more like traditional industrial design, so very classic, like taking it from the early stages and then bringing it all the way to the final stages of like manufacturing the hardware. So I really enjoyed it. Just some technical info on the job responsibilities. I was pretty much doing everything: sketching, tons of research, 3D modeling, 3D printing, surfacing, you name it. What I really like about Quip is that they give you an intern project, so you get to take it from like those beginning stages and fully develop it, and so you get to see every part of the design process and also work with all the people that you actually would be working with if it were a product to come to market, as well as I was doing another project that was actually meant for market. And so that was super cool because that was more like real world. I feel like with both, I got like a super in-depth understanding of the design process and how it works at Quip. The next category is skills gained. So I would say I definitely improved in my 3D modeling skills. I learned how to surface model and do continuous curvature and all these shortcuts that I'd never learned before. And I would also say my research skills developed a ton because I was working with a design researcher, so it was definitely like more in-depth research than I've ever had to do before. And also my hybrid working skills. Somehow throughout all of COVID, by working in places like Florida and Utah, I was able to avoid working from home just because I really appreciate being able to work in an office, but things are a little different in New York, especially right now in the depths of the Omicron surge. So I was working hybrid in the office half the time and from home half the time. That was definitely a little bit of a transition. Enough about the job. The next category on my list is my living situation. You guys, it was like a peak living situation this semester. I'm really glad it ended on this because I don't think I could top this. So on my past 4 internships, I've always just been like on my own, just going to a new place without knowing anybody. But this time I lived with 3 roommates who also go to the University of Cincinnati. Shout out to Thara, Sarah, and Maddie, and they really made my New York experience so much better. The 4 of us found an Airbnb, which we lived in for 4 months. It was right in the middle of Hell's Kitchen, so very central, a little bit cramped. I had to live on an air mattress in the living room for half the time, but you know, it was 100% worth it. Yeah, it was a great living situation. So speaking of roommates, that brings me to the next category, which is social situation. And I would say the situation in New York was also prime compared to past go-ups, because I kind of like had a little bit of a built-in community coming into it versus like having to reach out on my own. I feel like this time there were people that I knew who had graduated from Cincinnati and moved here, old friends, and then also having my roommates really made the situation 10 out of 10. So the next category on this list is exploration. And yeah, this is just about like all the things I did in my free time, the places I went, the things I saw, the things I did. And you guys, there's just so much that I'm not sure I can even encapsulate it in a video. Before we came, we made a list of everything that we wanted to do while we're in New York, and I feel like we crossed off pretty much everything that we wanted to, plus so much more. Like, things just came up every day. There's just so much to do in New York, you know? Like, there's always things to be seeing, places to be eating, people to be meeting. It's just, let me see if I can just like list some of the things I did while I roll a montage of, you know, clips from New York. We went to lots of museums, spent a lot of time in parks, went to coffee shops, went shopping, saw shows, ate good food, went out, yeah, it was a good time. So the next category on this list is visits elsewhere. I didn't really go anywhere overnight. We did plan an upstate trip because like I heard it's really pretty in Hudson Valley in the fall time. That didn't end up happening, but we did do like a day trip. It's actually the past video on my channel. Shameless plug. Sarah and I took a day trip up to Peekskill, New York just to do like a hiking day, and it was really nice to just get out of the city for the day and, you know, spend some time in nature. The next category on this list is visitors here. The visits started with my mom and dad. They were the ones who drove me out here, and so we spent 2 days, just started exploring the city a little bit, and it was nice to like kind of have family here to help me with my transition. The next visitor I had was my sister. She visited me kind of at my halfway point, and we went to all 5 boroughs in one weekend and just did a lot of different things. And it was super fun to have her here and kind of show her my favorite city. She's a big fan of Chicago. I'm a big fan of New York. May the best city win. Finally, in November, I had my friends Allie, Allison, and Joe come visit. That was also a really good weekend. Love hosting. Planned out some bar crawls. I think we went to 12 different places, and it was just very much like go, go, go. So definitely appreciated their visit, and yeah. Also at the end, my friends Nicole and Haley were supposed to come, but because of a COVID scare, they weren't able to. Would have been cool. Next category is the pros and cons in general. I would say the pros of my co-op experience would be the job. I learned a ton. I really liked my coworkers. I feel like everybody was very dedicated to me learning, and I loved the office environment. We had 2 office parties and they were really fun. I feel like these are people that I would definitely want to keep in touch with, like the New York design community in the future. So job was 10 out of 10, and if you want to hire me, Quip, I am available. May 2022. Other pros would be the location, of course. I'm kind of obsessed with New York City now, and I think I need to come back. It is not a want, but a need. Oh, I don't know though, like I'm kind of a mountain girl. I just love New York. Like, I love the fact that there's always something to do. I love the public transportation. I loved fall in New York. I love the food scene in New York. Yeah, I just loved every part of the experience. Cons? I guess the only con that I would say is the cost of living here. It's a little bit insane. The fact that every time I leave the house, I spend like $26 without even trying is a little bit concerning. If I was to move back here, I would definitely need to make sure that I have a high-paying job and some savings and stuff, but I think it's worth it. The next category is significant events, and I mean, there was a lot of significant things that happened, but I would say one of the ones that stands out to me was getting robbed. When I say that, people kind of freak out. They think I was like mugged on the street or something. That is not what happened. I think it was my second week here. I was sleeping on my air mattress in the living room, as one does. My phone was charging on the windowsill, and somebody pushed the window open, reached their arm in, and grabbed my phone, Apple Watch, all my debit cards, driver's license. It was a tough scene. So I was kind of like stranded for a couple of days without a phone, no way to access my money, but you know, I think it made me resilient, and I think it was a great welcome to the city of New York. Yeah, and so the final question on this list is, would I return? And I mean, I said it before, but I need to come back to New York, like expeditiously. I absolutely would return both to the job and to the city. It's just a matter of when, not if, for New York. So I guess to wrap it up, I just want to say thank you guys for joining me on this journey. It's been a crazy 2.5 years. It's literally insane to me, like the fact that I was 18 when I started doing my co-ops. Day one. And now I'm almost 22. The very last day of my very last co-op. It's happening. It's like so much has changed in those years. Like I feel like I've changed so much as a person. I never would have expected my co-op program to bring me to all these different life experiences and locations and jobs and environments and all the people that I've met along the way. And I'm just so grateful and so blessed to be where I'm at. As for the future right now, it seems to be like a really big question mark. I'm not really sure what is happening with my capstone or what I'm gonna do in the future after I graduate, but you know, that's for God to know and for me to find out. So keep me in your prayers, and until next time, until I guess like a post-grad update or something, drop a like, drop a comment, be sure to subscribe, and thanks for checking in. Bye.